Hello everyone and welcome back to another Bitcoin chart planning update video. I realized something and then when I realized that, I realized another thing. There's obviously a lot of fear right now in the markets, in Bitcoin, not every market, but when it comes to crypto, um, some stocks like Mara, there's just a lot of fear and there's a lot of people that are forgetting what the actual bigger picture looks like with the current trend. You know, why we're still consolidating, why we're lower, why Bitcoin is down and pushing a little bit more down as of right now. And then, I realize people always say, buy the dip. If you believe it's going to go up, just buy the dip. It's much more easy to say buy the dip than it is to explain to anyone why buy the dip, or you know what really influences everyone to want to buy the dip. It's just much easier to say one thing than to explain it. So what I'm gonna do here is this is more of a me trying to explain what's going on and try to calm a lot of people um, that are beginning to become anxious with the current price structures that we're seeing with Bitcoin and Mara. And then this will obviously correlate with a lot of other crypto related stocks. And then I believe MicroStrategy also fell quite a bit today, over 3%, I think. But regardless, forget all this right here. Forget October. You see this chart right here, all this monthly percentage gains. Like, forget this. Forget the FTX, like $16.5 billion that's expected to go out, and possibly a large of it will go into Bitcoin. Like, forget all of that. Forget every biasness. Forget. We're gonna focus purely. Like, I'm just trying to make this super quick update just for all of you that are feeling anxious right now and upset with the price structures. Forget. We're gonna put everything aside besides the chart itself, and of course all of the you know adoption and that's going on with Bitcoin, and then how that's going to influence the price going forward throughout this year and 2025, and then with Mara, how that's going to influence it. And also put aside all of Mara's expenses that they have. So obviously they're a company and they have a lot of expenses, but just remember, you guys can do your own research. Like, look at their monthly updates. They're doing great. They're handling their finances well. They're holding more Bitcoin, and they have a really good outlook. Their current hash rate, they're expecting, or they're saying they're expecting it to at least double by the end of this year. So either way, they have a good outlook, but the price is down, Bitcoin's down, and this is really what we're going to talk about. Of course, I just have to say, everything in this video is not financial opinion. It is all just my own personal, non-professional opinion. So everything I say here, it's just my opinion. So take it with a grain of salt, or whatever the saying, however it goes. I'm just expressing my opinions right now. So we all know that currently there's a few things going on. People are moving money out of more growth related assets and buying more conservative assets like DXY, the US dollar, right? Here's their index. It's going up. And then the VIX, as you can see, volatility is up. Eventually this will correct. It could already be starting, or it is going to start, right? And then we all know that, look, as well as money's flowing into the S&P, it made a new high actually. Like, look at this. Like, eventually it'll have to correct. I mean, how far up can it go? I'm not gonna get too much into that, but it can definitely go higher. Nasdaq can go higher, and then the Dow Jones can go a little higher as well. But when it comes to Mara and Bitcoin, understand a lot of these assets are being sold right now due to fear. And then this is when, of course, a lot of people will begin to accumulate due to fear, and money's flowing into other assets that will eventually move out of it. Just like I believe current Chinese assets, a lot of money's flowing into that as well. Eventually, it'll flow out of that and back into cryptos and such. But the reason, and also we have, of course, the natural disasters in the U.S. We put aside the port strike for now. But there's a lot of stuff going on that doesn't really, like, technically it doesn't really straightforward affect the fundamentals of Bitcoin, why Bitcoin is here, why people are buying it, why they believe in it. All of that has been forgotten temporarily. Bitcoin, I do not believe, just like Mara, is being valued where it should be, mainly because it's technically still a fresh asset. A lot of people don't truly yet know how to evaluate it. But we also have, the halving event happened earlier this year. We are, getting much further away from it. So we are going to begin. We already started seeing when Mara released their monthly update. They're doing a lot better. I'm expecting their next quarter report to be like decent. Actually, I don't know really what it's going to look like. If it's going to be positive or negative, but I believe it's going to look decent. I believe there's not going to be much fear in their numbers. They're going to have a good outlook. Things are starting to come back up. And when the mining revenue recovers, Bitcoin will eventually recover as well. Currently, because Bitcoin is obviously highly influences Mara. Currently, right? Super, super simple, right? We still have this low down here that has not been broken. So we pushed up. If we push lower and we make a new low, that's fine. This new low, if it happens, will be our new higher low from here. And that's fine, because if you can see, every other move, there's rises, and then it continues to dip. Right over here, rise, continues to dip, rise, continues to dip. This is a very small rise, as you can see with the resistance that we were looking at for a while. We came down here, we found support. The red area ended up holding. We found support and the price went up higher. Gray accumulation area, right? We started pretty strong, and I kept saying this orange resistance area is a test. This is where price is going to decide if it's going to come down or go higher. I've said this throughout the recent videos, updating you guys on this. It did find resistance. Look at that. The top end of it found resistance, and it's starting to push down. Now we're starting to retest the previous swing low. I'm expecting this swing low, like, I don't really know what to expect, but I'm expecting this is going to hold quite well. We can easily push down a little bit more. As you can see, the bottom of the support area is down here. The reason this isn't anything to worry about is that, remember what Bitcoin is meant for. Remember why it is here. And I'm going to get into Mara in a little bit. Of course, that is the focus of this video. But guys, you have outside news influence and affecting something in a way that it shouldn't. So it's ridiculous. Like, if you see prices move in a negative direction due to some economic news and like macro stuff, or just simply, hurricane is affecting the markets too. It's like, guys, it's just because I believe, I could be absolutely wrong, but the US is like one of the biggest players in the world for investing. So like anything happens in the US, it like affects the entire world basically. We have something it's ridiculous to believe and to be fearful that due to all of the stuff happening right now in the world, we're seeing Bitcoin dip and it's going to continue to dip. Like, I don't care. It might not, and it will. And if it does, why not continue to accumulate? If we expect Bitcoin to be much higher, making new all-time highs by the end of the year, which it's almost here, end of the year is almost here, why? Like, are people figuring out? Like, why? Like, look at this. The RSI even was pretty old, like, it was pretty up higher. It almost reached the top. And then look at that. Now we're dipping down, consolidating in the middle. So then it's like, of course, we need to fill in the rest of the gap. We're pushing down lower. There was so many signs. We had a resistance right here. And then it's hopeful. If you have a resistance drawn out, so here's a resistance, the orange area. If you're not, like, I personally didn't do anything because I don't care. I told everyone I intend to hold on to BITU. I wasn't planning to add more to it, but I'll update you guys. I did buy some more yesterday, and I'm going to update you guys on that buy tomorrow once I do my weekly portfolio update video for Bitcoin. I'll share with you guys what that transaction looks like. I'll take a screenshot, share with you guys like I always do every week. And then hopefully, I honestly want prices to stay low till like, I don't know, like Tuesday or Wednesday next week or whatever, because I want to add more actually. So I want to see what's gonna happen. I want to see what's gonna happen, and then I want to add a little bit more to it. Um. So yeah, so I'll share that position tomorrow. So I'm not gonna worry too much about it. But the thing is, we have outside new. I say outside as in like it doesn't really correlate to Bitcoin that much whatsoever, in my opinion. So it's like if you have outside news events influencing a price, like that's just ridiculous. They'll eventually have to balance out, eventually have to correct itself back to where it's supposed to be. And if you have resistance drawn out and you reach that resistance and you are planning, if your goal is to short term trade and you're trying to take advantage of support resistances and you're not looking much longer ahead of time, and that's just your goal, then it's absolutely ridiculous if you're being hopeful and you're not at least shaving a portion of position in that resistance. If you're like, okay, the price is down here, well, we can either find resistance here, which will be like around the 0.5 retracement, which also, as you can see, there was some price action trading right here, which aligns perfectly with it. So it's like, well, if you believe like, okay, well, we can close the gap and retest all-time, or not all-time high, if we retest a swing high and then possibly push down lower or see a rejection, cool, yeah, that's absolutely fine. But 0.5 resistance, 0.618, 0.35 in this area. If you oh, actually, I never updated this as the price came down a little bit more, so this is actually what it looks like. As you can see, we were in this area, 4-hour candle, didn't even hold above it, and it came back down. There's like why not shave some of your position? Why be hopeful? Now look, the price is lower, and now we're retesting support. And how this affects Mara, sorry, because I kind of repeat myself too much. And then you have outside news influence. Of course, when it comes to Mara, things are a little bit different. Currently, Mara, if you guys aren't aware, there's a little bit of a lawsuit in Texas due to noise pollution. I'm not going to get much into it. But there is that. There's also like, still interest rates are high. And that even though Mara isn't really affected too much by high interest rates, because they basically have no debt, basically. And they raise money through issuing more shares, which is great because they are a young company issuing shares, hurting investors short term by watering them down. But that's okay, because if you believe in the stock long term, I'm talking like 10 years from now, this is great because it's giving them more money, and it's not like they're taking a loan for it. Technically, it's like, they're getting more money short term. It may hurt the stock price short term and keep it down for a while, but man, they're getting more capital. They're improving their equipment. They're actually working on also making quieter and more efficient mining equipment. Not making it, but in the process of getting some. They're expanding operations. They're holding onto more Bitcoin. They're in a great position. So it's like when you have news like this just affecting them and things are a little bit, I'm kind of getting, my train of thought is kind of getting stuck, but like, there's just no reason to be super fearful. Again, like I said in the video I made earlier today, I am not doing anything. Honestly, I have almost no exposure tomorrow because we have really no bullish confirmation. We're still in a downtrend technically. This swing high wasn't even broken above swing high, and then we have like a smaller swing high. We're still in a downtrend technically. We can see the price either find support in this ascending resistance or break lower. And then I'm not really going to do anything. I'm just waiting for, and I don't care how long this takes, because guess what? You can pretty much every app, even if you trade on like a web browser or you trade in actual downloaded software, you can set alerts. And you can let those alerts tell you when to pay attention to a stock. Like, I don't check the stock every day. I just open it up to make a video. Like, I don't need to. Like, if you guys are just on TradingView, like, open this up and look at that. Add alert. Look, boom, add alert. When the price is reached up, you'll be alerted. If it comes down here, you'll be alerted. It's like, just set your alerts, wait for the notification, and that'll tell you when to pay attention to it. Meanwhile, go focus on a hobby. Go focus on something else. Let your swing trades play out. Let them alert you when to pay attention. And meanwhile, you can also pay attention to other stuff. Focus on other cryptos, on other stocks. Take time to study trends, how things are influenced, improve a skill. Like you don't have to pay attention to this so much. Like I'm personally like not really paying attention to this too much whatsoever. I'm waiting for those alerts to be hit, and I'm waiting for my first level of confirmation to fill in right here. It's as simple as that. I don't care how long it takes. I am not a heavy Mara trader. I'm not trying to get in and out of the stock every single day. Like I am in no rush whatsoever to do anything with this stock. I have other focuses as well. This does not make up the majority, not even half of my trading focus. I'm waiting for first level confirmation, which I've explained all 3 levels in a previous video. I think yesterday's video. I explained it as well. But guys, first level confirmation is price finally, unlike breaking it up into this area like right here where we got quickly rejected. No, that's super shallow, super quick. I want to see prices break into the first like green line and then actually consolidate within it, show price strength within it for more than 1 day. This was not more than 1 day. And then, it's as simple as that. I'm just repeating myself at this point. Let your alerts tell you when to pay attention to it. If you are stressing about the stock right now, maybe you're either heavily invested in it when you shouldn't be. You're either being too hopeful, you're trying to force a trade, you're just being hopeful, and like that's not good for your mental health, that's not good for your time, that's not good for your portfolio balance or anything like that. If you are, you're probably not managing your risk tolerance too well. And either way, for me, I'm barely like into this stock right now. I do believe it long term. I do believe, like as you guys can see, and I've explained in many videos, once Bitcoin reaches whatever bull market cycle high it's going to reach next year in 2025, I'm expecting Mara to top out somewhere in this area. So that's just my personal expectation. It might not happen, it might, or I don't know, but that's how I'm managing my trades. And then with that being said, like that's cool. That's like, I don't expect Bitcoin to top out for at least 1 year from now, like October, November next year, to top out. And how high is that gonna be? I don't know, but that's based on, so this area up here is completely based on my conservative expectation, and it's also based on the understanding that because currently Mara is still trying to grow and they're liquidating shareholders for the purpose of being able to grow long term by getting more capital. Every bull market swing high for Mara, as you can see, it's lower each time, and then I believe this area falls perfectly in line. I believe $45 at a minimum. I don't care if it says 45.55. I don't care. $45 minimum. Like this is super. It makes absolutely like all the sense in the world in a way, right? And then technically this bear market swing low pretty much falls in line perfectly with this other one, so maybe things might be changing, but this is still super young and there's still a lot more to grow. And then we're waiting to see or whoever our next president is, we're waiting to see what kind of regulations they're going to put, if they're going to put any regulations. Are they going to be super supportive of Bitcoin or not? I don't know. I'm not going to get into politics. This is not what this channel is about. But guys, every swing high is much lower every bull cycle. With that being said, that's like 1 year from now. So during that time, there's no reason to rush, because there's no reason to rush. I don't expect this level to be met until Bitcoin reaches at least 85,000 or up to 95,000. And then maybe we might be in this area, maybe not. But that's just what I believe will happen. And of course, I will update you guys if there's any changes by then. It's as simple as that, guys. I don't want anyone to like stress over this. I don't want anyone to, if you're stressing right now over this stock and you can't sleep right at night, or you're not able to focus on other parts of your life because of this, then you're obviously way too involved in the stock, and you need to maybe reduce your position or like take a step back, or just understand that there is no bullish signal just yet. We are still consolidating in this area. We have not made any higher highs. We have just been making lower highs. There's no reason to rush into a bullish trade. That's just being hopeful. And of course, we may see a little bit of bullish influence once Bitcoin finally starts to recover higher. Because, okay, so we're retesting the swing low. We can go a little bit lower, but we're retesting the swing low support. this is going to be an indicator if we're going to go lower or not. I strongly believe, and I'm still going to stick with this, we're not going to meet this purple area no longer. We will see. I could be wrong, but I don't think prices will ever break below $55,000 ever again. We will see. And then look at this area. We tested it 3 times. Who's to say look at this, we're here and we're here. We're retesting a second time. Who's to say we're not going to go up higher, maybe find resistance somewhere here, and then let me just, okay, I kind of don't like the way the numbers are overlapping, and that works. But that doesn't work because I just don't like the way it's overlapping. It's fine. It makes sense. Like, who's to say we're not going to find resistance or even retest this or resistance somewhere in this like teal color or this orange color, and then fall back down and have a third retest of this area. So I'm actually going to, oh wait, what am I doing here? Hold on. Let me see if I can, there we go. Who's to say we're not going to go up higher and then retest it a third time, just like we did in this area, before we start making the next leg up, which, not this one, but the next leg up, in my opinion, will bring us into a new high, somewhere just above previous all-time high. That's it. Like, it's as simple as that. Like, outside news influence pushing Bitcoin down shouldn't, there's not really much correlation on there, but these assets are not being valued as they should be individually because they're still fresh and there's so much stuff going on in the world, and there's like no one has time to really try to value this by itself, and like, so everyone is freaking out and everyone's selling, and that's why you should be buying. The question in the beginning of the video, right? It's much easier to say buy the dip than to explain why. I just explained why, and we can easily go up and then come back down and retest this red area a third time, just like this time. It's as simple as that. I'm just repeating myself at this point. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please pay attention to your position sizing, because one last thing I'm going to say. So you guys know I'm not heavily, like I said, I'm not heavily invested in Mara whatsoever. But the thing is, for example, when Bitcoin does shoot up again and it finally goes back to like 65,000 or 66,000, I'm expecting BITU to shoot back up, and then that's when I'm going to potentially start looking to shave a portion of that position. Once it goes back up, we should be trading back around, like, I don't know, probably like $28.50. Probably eventually we'll reach $30 once again up here. Because of course this is all based on Bitcoin, 100% based on Bitcoin, the price of this BITU. But when BITU does go up and Bitcoin go up, I am not expecting, so I'm going to be very clear right now. I don't know how many of you stuck around this long in this video, but this area, I'm not expecting Mara to even be deep into this. I don't even expect the 0.5 to even be met, which is cool, because once I start shaving out of BITU, I would like to add that money, transfer it over to Mara, and begin to add more to Mara once I start shaving out of BITU, because at that point, we should know if Mara is consolidating enough within this area, if it does it whatsoever. And then I'll be able to evaluate it if we're up here, if we're starting to show more bullish signs, and then I can easily add more to it well before retesting this previous swing high right here. It's as simple as that. Like, I'm not in no rush. There's like other trades I'm focusing on, and you know, I got some video games, I can hang out. I'm good. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and again, pay attention to your position sizing and try not to be time bias. Be level bias. Understand your levels. Let that influence your trading more than time. Time should never influence your trading. It should be more price levels. Yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care.